Depositors Insurance was an area covered by the Governor Gordon Wetherell during his monthly report last week. In this statement, he promised, "We would accelerate existing plans for a new depositor protection scheme." Depositor protection schemes are widely used internationally and seen by the international community as a good practice. Indeed, they are mandatory in the European Union. Founded by the banking industry, they provide for payments up to specified limits to be made to qualifying retail depositors of banks that fail, thereby helping to limit economic dislocation and boosting investor confidence in the banking system. I have asked the Financial Services Commission to make this a priority, and work has progressed to the new Depositor Protection Ordinance. Once it has consulted the banking industry, the FSC will present details of the ordinance to the Advisory Council and the Consultative Forum for consideration. Adoption of such a scheme in the TCI will be seen by the international community as a further sign of the Governor's full commitment to taking the steps that are necessary to continue to enhance regulation of our financial services industry and to meeting international standards. In response to this proposal, the TCI Bankers Association said in a press release today that they stood strongly against the proposal for a variety of reasons. However, despite their attempt to reason and persuade the governor that this deposit protection scheme would not solve any problems but create bigger ones, their response read, "Judging from the contents of his third quarterly statement, the governor seems to be ignoring our reasoned arguments against the proposed ordinance and our proposed alternatives and seeks to justify the rush to enact the legislation by stating that such schemes are mandatory in the European Union. What is not being mentioned is that the EU experts themselves strongly caution against the introduction of such schemes without a lender of last resort, and furthermore introduced in haste." The EU's One Basel Committee on Banking Supervision and the International Association of Deposit Insurers recently issued a document entitled Core Principles of Effective Deposit Insurance Schemes, which lists 4 key preconditions that need to be in place before an effective deposit insurance system can be brought into being. It is the view of the association that these preconditions do not exist in the TCI at this time. It seems the biggest concern of the TCI Bankers Association is the haste in which the governor is pursuing the implementation of the Depositors Protection Scheme. In a letter in which the association wrote to the governor on May 22nd, it was written, "There is an overwhelming amount of research that deposit protection schemes created in haste and post a failure are particularly dangerous." In their response to the governor's third quarter statement, the members of the association said that they will not be absorbing any additional costs of the proposed scheme, and if the scheme is introduced to the TCI, the costs will be passed until the public. They also posed the question, are the depositors of the surviving banks in the TCI willing to pay millions of dollars to the depositors of TCI Bank? It is stated that the association has yet to receive any kind of response to their views from the governor, the FSC, the Advisory Council, or the Consultative Forum.